Ruben Amorim has now undertaken his first coaching session as the new Manchester United manager. We've got pictures, we've got all of the information from the training session, which players were involved, the formations used, lots of other bits as well. We'll also be talking about a potential loan deal for Kolo Muani, which has kind of caught me by surprise this morning. Lots of other transfer-related stuff as well. So make sure, if this is your first time watching, that you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. And please make sure to like the video as well. 500 likes is the target. Go and do that right now. Okay, let's start off by talking about yesterday's training session then, because we have got all of the players seem to be posting about it. There's videos everywhere. It feels like that buzz is back again, right? Which is great. Absolutely great to see. The players seem happy again. You've got Marcus Rashford putting up a story on his Instagram saying top training session today. Then you've got Casemiro, who put up a similar post on his Instagram saying great session today. Kobe Mainoo did the same. Now, this is great. And, it's amazing to see that the players have gelled so quickly with Ruben Amorim. It's amazing to see. And I hope that this is the beginning of something beautiful. I hope this isn't just another, situation where a new manager comes in, they try and impress them to begin with. Once they get comfortable, they get complacent, and then the same problems happen. I hope that doesn't happen. I do honestly feel, right, from my opinion, that something good's going to come from Ruben Amorim. I do genuinely believe that. I don't know why. I just have a good feeling. I feel like he has... Sorry, everyone. It's suddenly got absolutely freezing in the UK now. It's like 2 degrees. I don't know. I just suddenly have a feeling that, Ruben Amorim at Manchester United is going to work. Now, does that mean we're going to win the league this year? Obviously not. I still think it's going to take time to get us back at the very, very top. But I don't know. I just feel like he's the right person. He's a head coach opposed to a manager. He's been able to bring all of his backroom team with him. I just think from watching him speak, watching his interviews, watching his press conferences, he's just got a very... I don't know what it is. I can't really put a pin on it, but he just seems very likable. He seems very warm, friendly, approachable. Do you know what I mean? And I think these players will resonate towards that. He kind of reminds me a little bit, all right? And don't shoot the messenger here, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was in his press conferences. Does that make sense? Like, he's very smiley. He laughs a lot. He's very... Do you know what I mean? Whereas, Erik ten Hag was just completely expressionless, just like staring down the camera, just saying... trust the process after we've lost 4-0 at home to Bournemouth or something. It would just be the same every single week. And there was no human kind of level to it, It was just a bit robotic. Whereas I think Ruben Amorim, for me, management style wise, I'm not saying his tactics are the same. I'm not saying his coaching ability is the same. I'm just saying as a person, he feels more like a kind of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer person. And I think these players bounce off that. They need someone who... will put their arm around them and support them. Whereas I think Erik ten Hag was quite cold, to be honest, from watching the press conferences and watching how he interacted with the players. So hopefully these players, can resonate and gel well with Ruben Amorim, because I do genuinely believe, I don't know what my expectations are. I mean, for this season, I think top 6 would be decent, which is more than achievable. If you look at the Premier League table now, right, I know we're in the bottom half at the moment, but 6th place is currently on 19 points and we're on 15 points. So we're only 4 points. We're only four points off Arsenal and 4 points off Chelsea, who are 3rd, and we're currently 13th, So we're not actually that far away from the rest of the table. So, yeah, I mean, anything's possible. If we go on a bit of a winning run, then who knows? Maybe we get top 4, which would be an amazing achievement considering where we are at this point in the season. But I'm excited to see what happens. But let me know what your expectations are for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. Get in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. What is your expectation for this season? Go and let me know right now. In relation to some of the news that came out from yesterday's coaching session, so Manchester United played a game, it looks like, against the younger players that were available. So this was the team that he lined up against. So he obviously played his 3-4-3. This was yesterday's training session. They played a full game. So they had Lenny Yoro, Evans and Luke Shaw as the back 3, which I think works quite nicely. Obviously, Luke Shaw being the left-sided centre-back. Then the kind of 4 was Anthony as the right wing-back, which we've spoken about a lot on this channel. Casemiro and Mainoo as the 2 midfielders, and Malacia as the left wing-back. Cool. And then the front 3 was Amad Diallo, Rashford and Mason Mount. I mean, we're quite fortunate in that situation, and in this exact moment, that quite a few of our players are either injured or haven't been picked for international duty. Because I'm not saying he should do this, but you would expect that team that I just read out to be able to beat Ipswich, wouldn't you? Obviously, there's lots of players still to come back. You've got Dallo, you've got Martinez, you've got Bruno, you've got Hoyland, you've got all these other names who are going to probably come back into that team. But even the team I just read out there, right? Lenny Yoro, Evans Shaw, Anthony Casemiro, Mainu Malacia, Ahmad Mount and Rashford. You'd expect that team to go and beat Ipswich. I'm sorry, you would, wouldn't you? So, yeah, I mean, it's good that they've been able to have a full week of training with quite a few senior first team players. Obviously, all the other players, I think, let me just double check. I think they're expected back in Carrington maybe tomorrow. And then our first game is on Sunday. Oh, no, there's still football tonight, actually. I'm just seeing if there's any of our players involved. So Sweden are playing tonight, so Lindelof will be involved in that. Is there any games tomorrow? No. This is the one really, really annoying thing about the international fixtures, right? So tomorrow, Wednesday morning, Uruguay play. So, I mean, that's at 12:30 in the morning tomorrow. So, I mean, what? Best case scenario, Manuel Ugarte will probably come back on Thursday or Friday, and then we play on Sunday. So maybe he won't be available for the game. But one good thing is there's no more international football now until March. So that's really, really good. Hopefully some of the players should be coming back, I think, today or tomorrow then. Because the only players who won't be travelling back... Is this today? The Netherlands are playing today as well. So De Ligt and Xerxes. So I think most players will probably be back in Manchester by tomorrow, is my understanding. But they probably then won't be back in training until Thursday. But the point I'm making here is Ruben Amorim has got a decent amount of players available to him at the moment, which is decent. You know, obviously the names that I just read out. And it's great to see that even in the first training session, when they did this kind of practice game, they're going straight in with the 3-4-3. He's going straight in with the formation that we want him to play. Like, we want him to play his style of football. We don't want him to come here and say, oh, I'm just going to play the 4-3-2-1 or whatever, you know? I want to see from the off different football, different tactics, different style of play. And I think with Ruben Amorim, we will see that. Obviously, the game on Sunday against Ipswich is going to be absolutely huge. I'm feeling pretty confident, though. I know Ipswich have had a couple of good results recently, so it's not going to be an easy game. No game in the Premier League is easy, as we all know. But I think it's a relatively decent first game for Ruben Amorim. You know, obviously it would be better if it was at home, but you know, there's nothing we can do about that. I'm just having a look. Obviously Ipswich Town did beat Tottenham Hotspur in the last game 2-1. But then before that, their form was pretty terrible. They lost to Brentford, they lost to Everton at home, they lost to West Ham 4-1. So generally, their form has been pretty bad. They're right down at the bottom of the table in the relegation zone. But obviously, when Man United come to town, everybody's motivated to win. So it's not going to be an easy match. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Jonathan is saying that apparently Victor Lindelof is injured. Thank you for that. Somebody in the chat says, I think Ruben Amorim's going to pull a masterclass and we will finish in the top 4. Hopefully. I mean, as I said a couple of minutes ago, right? Us finishing in the top 4 is more than possible. We're only 4 points off third place at the moment, you know? And there's still 27 games of football left to play. So it's definitely possible. But it's just whether we can go on a bit of a run. You know, if we were to win the next 5 or 6 games, I reckon people would be saying we'll be title contenders. I know that sounds ridiculous at this stage, but you know how the mood can change, you know? If we were to win the next 5 or 6 games in a row and Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal maybe lose a couple, people will say, oh, they should be winning the title. The expectations can change so quickly in football. At the moment, we're all sat here saying it'll be a miracle if we get top 4, right? But if we go on a bit of a run and beat some teams, the expectations will just completely change overnight. You know, you'll have the mainstream media all saying, oh, maybe they can go on a bit of a title charge now. I don't think so, personally. We're too far off Liverpool. Liverpool are on 28 points. We're on 15. We're 13 points behind them. So unless they have an absolutely catastrophic fall off, I think, you know, top 4 has to be the realistic target. And obviously you have to remember that 5th place should be enough to get Champions League football next season. Obviously, I'd prefer to get 4th, but 5th place should be, you know, a decent chance at top 4. So if you look at our next kind of 4 Premier League fixtures, you've got Ipswich away, Everton at home, Arsenal away, Nottingham Forest at home, and Man City away. I mean, it's not the easiest run, is it? Obviously, you've got Arsenal and Man City away, who are first and second. You've got Nottingham Forest, who've been really good this season. Obviously, Everton is never easy, but is an easier game than the others. And then Ipswich away. But then after you get past that little run, it goes a little bit easier. You've got Bournemouth at home, Wolves away, and Newcastle at home, which is hopefully a bit more of a winnable run. But as we all know, like, there's no winnable games in the Premier League. Every single game is difficult. Every single opponent wants to beat Manchester United. Everyone who's just joined the video, if you could do me a small favour and hit the like button, that'd be really, really appreciated. We've got over 300 people in the chat already this morning, which is amazing. I've set a likes target of 500 for today's video. So if you haven't liked the video yet, make sure you go and do that now. And if this is your first time watching the video today, make sure you subscribe as well. Bottom right-hand corner. It's completely free content. Everyone is welcome. Go and do that. We're so close to 40,000 now, everyone. So please make sure you do that. Doesn't cost any money. It's completely free. Okay, let's move on from that, though. We've talked a little bit about the training session. Let's talk now about this story that's kind of caught me by surprise this morning about Kolo Muani. This is coming out from multiple different French outlets this morning. And the headline is that apparently Manchester United want to sign Kolo Muani. Obviously, we were linked to him before he joined PSG. And the general consensus is that apparently Manchester United are going to try and offer a loan deal for Kolo Muani. What does everyone think about that? I mean, from my perspective, I would definitely take Kolo Muani, 100%. I think he's decent. He's not really getting that much game time at PSG. He's only played 300 minutes so far across all competitions, which is what, the equivalent of like 3 games maybe. PSG obviously paid an absolutely crazy amount of money for him last summer. They paid 95 million euros for Kolo Muani. He has only got 2 goals this season, but if he's only played 300 minutes of football, that's not terrible, is it? But yeah, I would love to see Kolo Muani at Manchester United. And I think if there was a world where we could loan him, I think it would be decent, because I think our number 9 options at the moment are quite limited. Obviously, we've got Højlund, but he doesn't really seem to be. I don't know. I just don't think Højlund's ready to be leading the line for Manchester United. I think he definitely has the potential, but I think at the moment it still very much is potential with Rasmus Højlund. And I think the best thing for him would be for him to have some support around him, to know that there's somebody else who can come in and contribute, because at the moment he is the only striker. Because I mean, arguably you could play Rashford as a striker. Maybe that's what Ruben Amorim does. But for me, Joshua Zirkzee isn't a number 9. I mean, for me, Marcus Rashford isn't really a number 9 either, to be honest. But I think Højlund is really the only out-and-out number 9 that we've got in the club. So something's definitely going to have to be done in that area of the pitch. But what it will be, obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But I think Kolo Muani would be an interesting option. Obviously, we know that PSG have a long-standing interest in Marcus Rashford. We know that. Is there a world where they come back in for Marcus Rashford? Maybe. And obviously, if we were interested in Kolo Muani, it could get quite interesting, couldn't it? But I'd be very interested to see what you guys all think about this one. Kolo Muani to Manchester United. Is he somebody you would like to see? If he isn't, let me know in the comments section who Manchester United should be looking at. There's another little story here which caught me by surprise this morning. This is coming out from the Italian press this morning, and it's about a player from AC Milan. And that player is Christian Pulisic. The story this morning is that apparently Manchester United are interested in signing Christian Pulisic this summer. I don't understand that, to be honest. Christian Pulisic, why? I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense to me, I mean, he's not a bad player, but I just don't really understand why we'd go for Christian Pulisic. I mean, to be fair to him, he's had a very good season so far. I'm criticising him, but he has got... he's got 9 goals and assists in 11 games in the Serie A. Like, he has done decent, and he's got 2 goals in the Champions League and 1 assist in 4 games. So he has had a really, really good season. But I don't know. He wouldn't be the top of my list. But I mean, fair enough. If that's who Man United want, then that's who Man United want. I just don't really understand the logic behind it. He's only just signed for, where does he play now? AC Milan. He only signed at AC Milan last year. He's there on a 4-year contract. it just seems a little bit strange to me. It doesn't really seem like an opportunity on the market. He's going to cost lots of money. 50, 60 million euros is the fee that's being mentioned in the Italian media this morning. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot of money for somebody who, let's be honest, wasn't that great for Chelsea. He was okay, but he got his big money move from Dortmund to Chelsea. What was it, like 5 or 6 years ago? Big money move, 65 million euros it was. And never really took the world by storm, did he? But in all fairness, he's gone to AC Milan and he has done well. So I can see why, you know, he's being linked to clubs like Man United and stuff again. But for me personally, I would not go for Pulisic personally. Let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. Somebody saying that Kolo Muani would be an excellent option as the second striker. Yeah, I would agree. Fred says the new coach bounce should be taken advantage of and we should start a run towards the top 4. Definitely. And let's hope we go on that little new coach run, you know, where we win 5 or 6 in a row and we're all happy again. Like, that's all we can ask for, isn't it? Fred says Amorim will not suffer fools at the club, so anybody not performing will not be picked. Yeah, he has already said that, you know. Amorim's already said that it doesn't matter how young you are. It doesn't matter how inexperienced you are. If you play for Manchester United, you should be good enough. And if you're not good enough, then effectively you'll be let go of, which I think is the correct decision. You know, you've got to be a bit more ruthless. Right, what else have we got in the chat this morning? Quite a lot of people in the chat think that 4th place is realistic. Yeah, 4th place is definitely realistic, but obviously we have to start well. You know, you've got to go and beat Ipswich, obviously. If we don't beat Ipswich, I'm sorry, like 4th place is definitely not going to be possible. But I mean, everybody is expecting us to beat Ipswich, right? It would be an absolute shock if we were to lose to Ipswich. But at the same time, you know, if it was Erik ten Hag up against Ipswich away from home, you wouldn't be sat here saying we have to win. You'd be like, oh, we'll probably lose, you know? So we've got to be realistic here. Obviously, Man United should be beating Ipswich, but remember, like, this Man United team lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth last season. We lost 4-0 to Brentford under Erik ten Hag. Do you know what I mean? Like, we have lost to lesser teams than, or teams similar to Ipswich in the past. So yeah, we've got to kind of keep that in sight. I'm going to wrap the video up here. It feels like a good point to end today's video. Please do me a small favour before you leave. Smash a like on today's show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll speak to you all on the next one. Bye for now.